Good afternoon to you. How are you doing on this Monday, the start to a new week? This is David Richard Amo with Bouncing the Tribe, Body, Mind, and Spirit. So the title we got here, there's winning, there's learning, unless you choose to lose. I'm not quite for sure exactly how this started coming up. Started thinking about this over the weekend, and then what kind of solidified it was Facebook buddy posted up, well, he's over in the United Kingdom, but shared up. He's going through his own, just recently went through his own cancer experience and talking about how grateful he is right now. The weather cleared up enough where he's able to go outside. He's able to enjoy the nice warm bed. And when I made a post to him, it kind of got me thinking back a little bit. So I'm going to go off in a little different directions here. I first heard this concept about winning or learning. I think it was actually from Eric Worre in one of his GoPro events in Vegas. And the idea is simple. For every event that takes place, you either win or you learn something about it. There's not exactly losing. That's going to be a choice. So I started thinking back a little bit, and I don't know if necessarily if I want to call it regrets, which might be a way to learn it. Yet, if we have regrets, then we wouldn't be the person we are today. So I remember listening to Bob Proctor talk. He said he doesn't have regrets because if he did things differently, he wouldn't be who he is today. So again, that made me kind of thinking back a little bit. Perhaps you might do this as well as kind of go down memory lane, if you will, about certain things in your life. You wonder what would happen if you would have done things differently. I can think back when I was teaching at the community college. There's ways I conduct my teaching, which I believed at the time was good. Yet in looking back, I can realize I could have done things a whole lot differently, and the students probably would have got a lot more out of it. There's also times where I said and did some things. It was not intentional, but that didn't matter because the effect was it bothered some students and hurt some students. That wasn't my intention. It wasn't, but that was the effect regardless. Relationships. I was definitely a late bloomer when it came to relationships, intimacy, and learning from there. If I could have done things differently, that might have prevented some hurt, both for myself and for the partner I was with. So it's going back and realize, okay, learn. And this also goes back to cancer. As a matter of fact, I was writing this up this morning as a business exercise. And this also goes back into the comment ties back in with the comment I made to the buddy this morning. And that was, for me, pre-cancer, I thought I was doing okay. I was grateful. I was going through things. I thought I was doing pretty good. But it's afterwards when you go through something like that. It doesn't always have to be something major, but it can shift your perspective. Because I had a major upheaval in my body, mind, and spirit. And some of those areas started to go back to normal just by default. But yet I knew what it was like on the other side. And this is the point with all of this. If you look back to, like for myself, how I talked, how I treated past partners. And then with the cancer, what changed for me with the cancer is that you can choose to learn from that. You can choose to make changes in your life and do the learning. Because if you don't, you just lost and you get nothing out of it. So that's kind of the point I want to make here. And I'm sorry, my mind's kind of going again. And there are times where I do wonder, what if I would have made some different decisions, how that would affect my life. But at the same time, if you go down that rabbit hole of the what if game, it's often not a good place to go to. You can get yourself go down in a lot of places, and it's just not a really good spot. Because we have a tendency to go to the what if of the negative instead of the what if of the positive. But regardless, that's done in the past, so take whatever lessons you have. Again, you have to make a conscious choice to choose to learn those lessons. Like the examples I gave here, the way I previously taught, from relationships, what I learned from the cancer. We can go through and choose to learn the lessons and better our lives in a way and those different relationships we have as we move along, whatever that may be. All right? So let me know in the comments here, if you'd like to go ahead and like and give me some comments. What are some lessons that you learned from a situation? Good or bad? Hopefully it's more prevalent you didn't have to learn, because if you hear a lot of times in life, the lesson is repeated until you actually learn it. There's a difference there. What are some times you got some stern warnings or stern learnings that you're able to apply it and not make the same quote-unquote mistake for next time. All right. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day. We'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.